Oh boy. They've done it again, guys. So another buff has come out for Vorkath, which in itself isn't terrible. However, one of the things that they buffed about the new Dragon Slayer boss is its drop table, and it has received a serious overhaul. So I do agree that this boss needed a buff, however I think they way too overcompensated for it and didn't buff the drops properly. Anyway, let's go have a look. So to start off here, the amount of damage a player can deal to Vorkath during a poison pool phase has been increased. Now you can deal 50% of their maximum damage during this phase. This is fine, it doesn't really seem to be an issue. The base defense has been lowered slightly. Whatever, I don't really have an issue with the boss being easier to kill. Even this part here isn't the main issue. The fact that now you get 2 rolls on the Vorkath standard drop table per kill. That doesn't include uniques, clue scrolls, the dragon bones, or the dragon hide. This would have probably been fine and maybe balanced if they had just increased it so you get 2 rolls. So you'd be getting like twice the amount of loot. Twice the amount of the before buff loot would have been maybe between 1.5 mil and 2 mil an hour. However, additionally, Vorkath's overall standard drop table has been substantially improved. So a lot of the drop table is still getting determined, however we can see a ton of pretty noticeable changes here. People are getting tons of seeds now, you're getting like a U seed, a palm tree seed, and a single drop. Now the kills seem to range between like 125k and like 300k per kill, which is now settling the GP per hour to be somewhere between like 3 and 4 mil for top players and people who are maxed. So I don't really have a big issue with the actual GP per hour. This is an endgame boss. It does require a lot. So 3 to 4 mil an hour isn't necessarily terrible. It's just the way that they've added the GP on here. Right now it's a ton of alchables, runes, resources, tons of bolt tips, and just other things to buff the table, when really what should have happened is a rework for the rares. Personally, I think most of the GP for bosses should come from their rare items. So items like the skeletal visage and the dragonbone necklace should get reworked as opposed to just buffing the table with tons of just like random crap and runes and stuff. So we've now gone from a boss that was maybe earning you like 750k an hour to a boss that's earning you like 5 times that much essentially. So one of the main issues here is a lot of these items are doomed to be worthless. I do realize not all of these are on the Vorkath drop table, but it's worth talking about anyway. So I'll start with the dragon plate body and dragon kite shield. Now these will probably retain a certain amount of value just because of their rarity, but historically dragon armor like this has not been extremely useful because there's other options like Bandos chest plates, and most people are going to prioritize their offensive bonuses as opposed to defensive, so these will never be used that much. The skeletal visage is now dropped to about 30 mil, and I'm actually surprised it's even that high right now, because right now super anti-fires pretty much completely null this item out. The only argument you could say for using this is the fact that super anti-fires are a bit expensive right now, but even those are dropping down pretty quick. I think they're down to like 7k right now, and they'll probably drop down all the way to like 3 or 4k. The dragonbone necklace is interesting, however it has very niche uses. I'm not even sure when it would come in handy, maybe like Suquaz or maybe Nightmare Zone even, but again, a lot of people don't want to sacrifice offensive bonuses just purely to save some money on prayer potions. I saw a suggestion earlier that maybe it should go in the ammunition slot. That'd be kind of interesting, but maybe a little overpowered then at that point. So the real issue here is that the rare drops that Vorkath have are not going to retain their value over the coming year pretty well. So the only way to keep it a viable money-making method and keep people killing the boss is to buff it up with alchables, which really isn't a sustainable solution. What needs to happen right now is the actual drop table needs to be nerfed again. Nerfed back down to like, I don't know, half of what it is now. But the actual rares need to be buffed. And at that point, it could still be 3 or 4 mil an hour. However, that money is going to be coming from the rare drops. And at that point, it'll be more of a healthy PVM boss. So there's actually been an additional change as well, a couple hours after this other change. Now there's been like 4 changes. And I think this is actually a minor nerf to some of the drops. So I mean, that's good. So I think they did overdo it a bit, but it's still a very resource heavy boss right now. I don't think this is going to be a game changer or anything. So as far as solutions, clearly one that has been mentioned quite a bit is the fact that the super anti-fire potions completely null out the fact that you'd ever want the dragon fire ward. So really I think they need to make the super anti-fire potions different. Either make them untradeable so that you need to have the 90 herblore level or whatever to make them, or just completely delete them from the game. I think at this point making them untradeable would be much more popular, and this has been talked about a lot. But now we're kind of seeing the actual effects of it, and I think it needs to be revisited. I do like the idea of the dragonbone necklace. It seems cool, and it seems like it could actually save a lot of money in some circumstances. And I don't have an issue with it being a niche item. I think it probably should be. However, right now I can only think of like 1 or 2 circumstances when you'd ever want it. So currently it doesn't stack with the Catacombs of Karend. So maybe it should, because then it would be the best in slot item pretty much to bring there, because you'd be saving so much money on prayer potions. but it would still have a sacrifice in your damage. You wouldn't be able to wear a Zenite piece or a Fury or anything. Now as for the Dragon Plate body, I think this one's a little bit of a healthier decision so far. It doesn't really have a use, but neither does the Dragon Full Helm really, or the Dragon Chain body. Most people are always going to prioritize their offensive bonuses. It is rare, so that is going to be a major benefit. Because if we have a look on G-Tracker right now, like the amount coming into the game is like pitifully low. There's like one of these Dragon Kite Shields traded every like 4 hours or something, so they're extremely rare, so I don't really see an issue here. The Rune Adamant Dragons seem reasonably well balanced, so what I think needs to be done is they need to nerf the drop table pretty soon, like ASAP, and then determine a way to make the unique drops from Vorkath retain their value, because right now 3 to 4 mil in alchables is not really good for a healthy gameplay. One thing I do like about the drop table is Vorkath's head. I think it is good to have untradeable gear upgrades kind of bound to certain bosses. It'll add a reason for people to kill it, even if the GP per hour isn't the best in the game. There will still be a reason to kill this boss. So overall, I really do like Dragon Slayer 2. I think this is easily fixable, but they should do it soon before it just becomes another Resolver situation. Anyway guys, what do you think? Do you think it should be nerfed? Do you think it's good the way it is? Leave a comment down below what you guys think. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. I will see you in the next video.